UFC Fight Night Mexico is going down this weekend. I'm making my predictions, but make sure you like and subscribe. I am on a hot streak right now. Since I started this channel, I predicted UFC Seattle, UFC 313, and a little bit of UFC London. I went 9 for 12 on my picks for UFC Seattle. That's unheard of. For UFC 313, I got every fight right, except the main event. I picked Pyfer. Can you blame me? And finally, UFC London did not look like a good card to me, so I only predicted the last 3, and I got them all right. I went 3 for 3. I picked Kevin Holland. No one picked Kevin Holland. I picked Ulberg, and I picked, what was the main event? Sean Brady. Not bad, not bad. So we're on a hot streak right now. Let's keep this going. Let's see how far we can take this. Let's get straight into it. We got Ronaldo Rodriguez opening up the card against Kevin Borjas. Rodriguez. That dude's hilarious. He stole the show at the press conference for the Sphere. That guy's got mad trash talking skills. And Ronaldo Rodriguez and Chiwiwi were the only Mexicans to win at the Sphere. They're fighting on this card. How about that? But yeah, Ronaldo Rodriguez, he's durable. He's a complete MMA fighter. He can mix it up. He's good on the ground. He's got submissions. He's a crazy mofo. I like that. He's fighting Borjas. First glance, Borjas reminded me of Edson Barboza, but without the kicking game. He's a fast, explosive striker, but it feels like it ends there. He's not a complete MMA fighter. Haven't really seen too much ground game from him. He looked great when he fought Joshua Van. He rocked him a bunch of times. He almost had him round 1, but Joshua Van ended up winning with brutal body shots. That really won him the fight, but that was a great fight. Unfortunately for Borjas, his last fight, he got finished by leg kicks and a little bit of ground and pound to finish the job. His legs just got chopped. He's not as durable as Ronaldo Rodriguez. He's not as crazy as Rodriguez. I'm going Ronaldo Rodriguez. It's in Mexico. This guy's ready. He's a good up-and-coming contender, and I really think he's going to win. It's going to be a scrap, though. That's good matchmaking. Next up, we got Chiwiwi versus Vince Morales. Now, Chiwiwi, he's way younger than Vince Morales. He's a new generation fighter. He's well-rounded. He's got striking skills. He's got grappling skills. He's getting better at mixing it up. But he also has no problem laying in guard and just winning with dominant position. But this fight should be a scrap because he's fighting Vince Morales. When I see Vince Morales fight, he reminds me of Mayhem Miller back in the day, just off the looks. He moves forward, but not much output. Kind of throws one strike at a time, but he still moves forward a lot. His strengths are his front chokes. So if Chiwiwi takes him down, things can get interesting on the ground. There's going to be some good grappling, good scrambles there. He always goes for Doris, Anaconda, Peruvian neckties. He likes to go for all the chokes. I respect it. I don't think he's going to submit Chiwiwi, though. I just feel like Chiwiwi is smart enough to defend against that. Vince Morales' last fight was against Elijah Smith. He was in some trouble, but at the end of the fight, all that matters is he defended all those chokes. I think Chiwiwi can do the same. I'm going Chiwiwi. This one should be a banger as well. We got some good fights on this main card. Next up, we got a real interesting fight. Now, I know I picked a huge underdog last card. I picked Kevin Holland to win, and he did. Kevin Gastelum's the huge underdog in this card. But am I going to pick Kelvin Gastelum like I picked Kevin Holland? I don't think so. Kelvin Gastelum, he's a good fighter. But he's best when he's light on his feet, moving in and out, using footwork. Using his crisp boxing and his fast hands. His last fight pissed people off. He signed to fight at 170. But 2 days before the fight, he told Daniel Rodriguez, I can't make weight, we're fighting at 185. And he barely won. His fight before that, the Sean Brady loss, that aged well. If you watched the last card, you know how damn good Sean Brady is on the ground. But something to note is Sean Brady is Joe Pyfer's teammate. So, I'm guessing Sean Brady's kind of giving Joe Pyfer the blueprint on how to beat Kelvin Gastelum. Don't you think? His last 2 fights were against welterweights. His last finish was in 2017 against Bisping. A Bisping that just got brutalized by GSP and choked out, unconscious. Let's move on to Joe Pyfer. He finished 4 out of his last 5 fights. Impressive. He did just recently lose to Jack Hermanson. Jack Hermanson, at the time, didn't fight for 2 years. He was out due to injury. He comes back and beats Joe Pyfer in a 5-round fight. It's true. And Jack Hermanson, for some reason, has still not fought since. After he fought Jack Hermanson, he fought Barry Ute last fight, and he won by a brutal body shot. He's got severe power in his hands. We all know that. But he's not the most precise striker. What do I think about that? I think Joe Pyfer's a true middleweight, and he's more active, and he's got more finishing ability. Kelvin Gastelum, he may have the speed and the slicker boxing, but I'm going Joe Pyfer. I don't think he can knock out Kelvin Gastelum. I think he's going to win a decision, but I think this fight's going to be closer than a lot of people think. Next up, we got the fight that I think's going to be fight of the night. We got Manuel Torres versus Drew Dober. First off, Torres, he's really good. He's a rangy striker. He lost to Bahamadez last fight, but Bahamadez is the biggest lightweight I've ever seen, so I can't fault him for that. That guy's really good, and that loss is aging well. Torres, he has submissions. He just tapped out Chris Duncan. Chris Duncan's really good on the ground. He just got a submission last week. His opponent this weekend is not going to be a rangy striker. It's going to be Drew Dober. Drew Dober, he's got knockout power. He's durable. He's the shorter fighter, and he's there to be hit a little bit more. He always moves forward. He brings the fight, but he can be hit. Thing about Drew Dober, though, his last win was against Ricky Glenn in 2023, 2 years ago. Based on styles, I feel like Torres will beat the shorter fighter. I got Torres beating Drew Dober. He's got the rangier striking. He's going to get hit less. And if it goes to the ground, Torres is more of a threat on the ground than Drew Dober. And finally, on to the main event. We got the guy from The Office, Steve Erceg versus Brandon Moreno. Steve Erceg, his last fight didn't look too good. He got knocked out by Kai Kara-France. He did good in this title fight, but he didn't show much IQ. Now Kai Kara-France is getting the title shot. Alright? Brandon Moreno, though, I mean, he's been in so many fights. He doesn't do anything wrong. He doesn't take the most chances. I don't think he's this exciting fighter that everyone makes him out to be. He just doesn't make mistakes. He doesn't really do anything wrong. Sure, he'll throw a spinning move here and there, but for the most part, he just does what he needs to do to win. Not my favorite style, but I can't pick against that. He's fought bigger names. He's been on the bigger stages. He's showed more grit. He does everything that Erceg does better, in my opinion. I don't see how Erceg's going to beat him. You know? He's the Office guy. Brandon Moreno isn't going to lose to the guy from The Office, I'll tell you that. He even said he was surprised the UFC called him to main event this fight. I'm going Brandon Moreno. Just based on what he's done compared to what Steve Erceg's done. Brandon Moreno doesn't make many mistakes, and I don't see Steve Erceg forcing him to make mistakes. So yeah, this should be a good fight card, especially these two fights. Rodriguez versus Borjas, keep an eye out for that. And I think for sure, Torres versus Dober is going to be fight of the night. How can it not be? Drew Dober walks into the fire, and Torres is looking for the finish every time. Should be a good card. It's going to be better than UFC London. It doesn't have... It's not hard to top that card. So, make sure you like and subscribe. Like I said, we're on a hot streak right now. Let's see how we do on these picks this time. Later.